Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you doing? Can you hear me? Anybody?
Yes, Professor, we can hear you.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you.
Yes, Professor.
Thank you. How is everybody doing? How was your self-study?
Yeah, it was great. Actually, it was something new to learn. I wasn't aware of that thing.
Wonderful. That is great. Did you do any additional research? Because that file just gives you a taste of MODAPTs. And my hope was that you will do some research on, do a Google search or YouTube to see what more information you can get, because your weekly homework this week is related to that. If you look at the course website, I have already posted your next week's homework, which is here. I'm certain that you can read this. If the font size is small, maybe let me see if I can. Yeah, I can just zoom in a little bit. The question for this week for you, of course, I'm going to do a team forming exercise right now to create teams, and then you will work with your team members on this question. When you answered the question, when you solved it, you every team only uploads one file on the course website. The question is, assume that you are a time analyst and your job is to measure the amount of time it takes to complete the following task. Assume that a worker is sitting on a chair and there is a box of bolts, a box of washers, and a box of nuts on his desk. His job is to take a bolt with his right hand, hold it, and take a washer with the left hand, insert the bolt into the washer, and then take a nut with his left hand and screw the nut 3 rounds onto the bolt. How much time would you assign to this task using the MODAPTs technique? Make sure to write the codes, letter and number for each element. And for each element, you assign a time based on the units, number of units that you assign to each specific move, and then add the time and give me the total. So what I need from you is the breakdown of the codes that you assign, the number of units of time that you assign, and at the end, how much total time will you assign to this activity. Write the answer on a piece of paper, take a picture, save it as PDF, and then upload it on the course website. You did a small research on the official site and their certification. That is great. This is good. Okay, did we get any news reporter last week? I don't remember. Who volunteered to be our news reporter? Nobody? Who was she, Muktesh?
It was Kimia.
Kimia. Kimia Masudi. No, she's not here yet. Okay, that's probably she's still looking for pieces of news. She will join. Either looking for news to come to the class with all the information, or she's still watching that video for MODAPTs. Okay, we will hear the news when she joins the class. Okay, she's here. but still not connected to the audio system, so she cannot hear me right now. Let's wait a minute. Okay, she's here. Hello, Kimia. We were talking about you. We were waiting for the news of the week. Do you have anything for us?
Hi.
Hi, Kimia.
Excuse me, I had some connectivity issues with my laptop that I'm just connected with my mobile phone now. Sorry for the
Okay,
delay.
that is fine. Did you get any news? Do you have any news for us?
Yeah, all the new fires in British Columbia recently. Have you heard about it?
Unfortunately, not. I am in Toronto now,
Oh, okay, I see.
and it is about 12 o'clock in Toronto, 3 hours ahead of
Okay.
BC. But
Yes.
talk to us about it. Tell us what happened because of the warm weather or any other issues.
Yeah, because of the heat wave that we had and because of the hot weather, there are so many fires happening in British Columbia. And actually, they have announced that many of the houses or the townhouses, in case the fires are going to be increasing, then they're gonna empty many houses and people are gonna be transferred to many hotels. And already many hotels and many rooms have been available for the people. So in case there's going to be an increase in the fires, they will be going to the hotels.
Is
That's
it
why
just
we're waiting.
recent? Like, is it right now going on? Because there was a fire about 2 weeks ago when the heat went up to 50 degrees, I believe, in part of British Columbia.
Yes,
But
it's going on right now. So
oh, okay, so that's too bad.
yeah, yeah, it's
200.
going on right now. And
Well,
they have announced the weather is gonna be something bad in the next couple of days because of the
okay.
fires. So we're gonna
Which part of BC is this happening on?
very close to Vancouver.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was reading today that we're gonna expect a very bad weather and a very bad sky in the next couple of days due to the fires. So I hope uh
hopefully
it's will
they will control the
gone very
fire.
soon.
Uh, Leandro writes that Mexican firefighters are coming to help. That is great.
Yeah.
Something I just remembered when Leandro wrote, which is related to the course to operations management. Let me share this experience with you. Um, Flexible manufacturing systems, FMS, is a concept that we will learn sometime. We will talk about it sometimes in the course, but that started about when was it? 1960s, around 60, 50, 60 years ago, when a city, a small town in the United States got fire, and the local firefighters did not have enough facilities, enough tools, equipment to fight the fire. They asked for help from other cities and they sent their help over there. When they came with their trucks and with all their facility, they couldn't connect their hoses to the town's water system because they were not flexible. Like they needed a special adapters and they didn't have it. So all the tools and machineries, all the trucks that they brought for help was almost useless. And from that time, this concept of flexible manufacturing systems started. And right now, if you buy a piece of, for example, a piece of uh, connector, pipe connector in anywhere in the world, half an inch, they're all the same. So they started working on these standards and then managed to have the same standard all across the world. So that if something needed here in Toronto, and I can't get it in the city, I can ask somebody in Vancouver to send it over to me, and they are all fit what is needed here. So FMS.
Just reading again now, only an update in CBC, in one of the new channels that they have. So many people have already left their houses. They had to leave their houses already, and they have been transferred to hotels because of the fires.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Even if you are far away from it, the smoke will be a problem. And they always consider the risk, especially if there is a little wind with fire, it just spreads everywhere. So hopefully they will control it. So Leandro writes again, it's part of the standardization. The same happened with phone chargers, and eventually it will happen with the electric car chargers. Yeah, they all should standardize all the products that they produce. So there should be some cooperation across the countries, across the nations, across the world, so that they all formulate a standard strategy for production of different things that might be needed in different parts of the world. Okay, thank you, Kimia, for the news.
You're welcome, my pleasure.
Hope that they will control it soon. We had a lot of bad things happen in our lives. We don't need any more bad news. Yeah, like over the past 1.5 years.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm not able to see the. I'm not able to access the what is called the chat, the conversation here. Even last week, I wasn't able to.
You were not able to do what? Sorry.
Sorry, I'm not able to access to the conversation we have here, the chat box. I'm not able to access it. I can't.
You mean the video recording of the course?
Oh no, I mean the conversation here, that the chat box that we have, we can type. Okay. I'm not able to access that. Like even last week, I wasn't able to.
Well, if you are using your cell phone, it's a little tricky. There are buttons on your cell phone which shows the public chat. If you click on it, you should be able to get that. I usually don't use my cell phone to connect because I need to have a computer to write, to share my screen. But I know, like for my office hours, sometimes when I am not in my home, so I had one case that I was on the road going somewhere, and because it was during my office hours, I had to connect to my office online and wait there for a student. So I was able to connect while I was driving, and I found it very difficult to work with cell phone on these type of things. So maybe you can do something. If there is a Wi-Fi internet problem that you are facing, maybe you can use your cell phone's hotspot and then connect your computer to the cell phone's data. It costs you a little money because it uses a lot of data of your cell phone. But if that is something that helps you with access, it probably is worth it.
Yes, it is. Yeah, okay, I will try again because I had some connectivity issues with my laptop. That's why I couldn't join the beginning of the class, and then I had to join myself. I'll try again now. Sorry about that.
No problem. But I'm going to start forming teams, and I think I saved an Excel file. Oh God, no, what did I do? I saved your names. Okay, I can do it in a minute. Get your student ID numbers from my class list and then take you through the random process for creating teams. So what I'm going to do is to get your student ID numbers. And we have 27 students in the course. Almost done. 4 more left. Okay. Okay, I saved your student ID numbers in my list. Let me see what we got from Rizwan. Modat symbols. Wonderful. Great. This is very good. Thank you. M for movement through a space formed by finger, hand, arm, shoulder. G for act of obtaining control of a part, like grasp. Extra force exerted to overcome resistance. E for eye movement. Okay, thank you. Hopefully you are not going to do the exercise that I talked about and post it on the public chat. Don't do that. Please never give the answer to a question on the public chat. If you want to send me a message, you can send me a private message with all the information that you want. But please don't try to share answer to the quizzes on the public chat so that everybody can see. That is not right. I'm saying this because in one of my classes this semester, one student tried to do this, not intentionally, he just wanted to say that he knows this stuff. I'm happy that he knew this stuff, but it wasn't right because that was the answer to one of the questions that I had for the quiz. Okay, now we have 23 students in the course. Let me just save the class list one more time. Okay. Let me take you to the course syllabus to tell you what the plan is for tonight. We have about 1 hour, 1.5 hour time. What I'm going to do after team forming exercise for week 2, you already had your 2 hours of self-study. I'm going to cover the first chapter of the material, and in that first chapter there is a slide on one page that talks about professional certification, the industry designations that are very important for us to know because it adds a lot of value in addition to your MBA degree. If you get your MBA, you will write your name, and then at the end of your name, the degree or certification designations that you have will tell the people about who you are. That is again for that slide. When I got there, I will give you another homework for the week after, that you work on those professional certification, do a little research on them, and then come to the class and present your findings to the class. So that is the plan for tonight. And at the end of the class, you have your student engagement exercise. That is not number 2, because we didn't do a student engagement exercise number 1 last week. And I already have the questions available, posted on the course website. At the end of the class, I will give you about 15 minutes time this was for last week. For this week, 15 minutes time to go over a student engagement exercise. That is, right now it is hidden. You cannot see it on your page. When the time comes, then I will open it so that you can go ahead and answer the questions. Okay, let me first start with the grouping, team working. We have 27 students in the room. If I go with 5 groups of 5, then we have 2 students that would probably not, we don't know what to do with those 2 students. If I go with 6 groups of 5, then I need 3 more students. Again, a problem here. How about we go with 5.5 groups? Can we do that? No. So let me go with 6 groups, but 3 groups will have 5 and 9 groups of 3. That is wonderful. But Sujata, other students will not like your suggestion. Let's ask other students. Do you like what Sujata suggests? You see lots of no's right now. Four groups of 4 and 3 groups of 5. 6 groups, 4 each, that is 24. 3 groups with 5 people. That doesn't work, Muktesh. Okay, yeah, Hardeep, that is a good, smart suggestion. 3 groups of 9. How about 1 group of 27? 3 of 5 and 2 of 6. I think I'm going to go ahead with 6 groups. I need 6 because there are 6 professional designations listed on my page, and I want to assign each one of them to a group. Let me show you what I have here. Here, as you can see, we have 6 bullets here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I want to assign each one of them to a group. So let's go with 6. If we want to go with 6, we can go with 6 groups of 4 groups of 5. No. 6. 4 groups of 4.
Professor,
No.
what I was saying,
okay, what
we can have total 6 groups, and the remaining 3 people can join those 6 groups. Like,
okay, if we go, that is a good suggestion, Muktesh. If we go with 6 groups of 4, that is 24. The 3 extra students that we have, we can assign them to those 3 of the 6 groups.
Correct.
Okay. How about everybody okay with this? Can we do that? We go with
yes, Professor.
Okay. We go with 6 groups of 4, and then the 3 remaining students, we ask them to put them in the first 3 groups. And the groups are random. We don't know who is going to be in what group. So if we agree on this system, then I start working. 6 groups of 4, the remaining 3 groups will join the first 3 groups. Okay, let me do that. And as I mentioned, the process is going to be random. I don't know if you know something about random numbers. I generate a random number, assign a random number to each student. The function that you use in Excel to generate random number is rand, open and close the parentheses, press enter. When I press enter, a random number, which is a number between 0 to 1, will be assigned to the first student. Okay, 0.63. But because there is a live function behind this number, and that live function is the rand function, anything that I do causes this random number to change. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to copy this function into all the remaining cells so that everybody gets a random number, but you realize that the first number changed. And if I do that again, all the numbers change. I need to get rid of this live behavior, live function behind the cells. To do that, I will copy this column, paste it in the next column, but paste special, just the values, not the formulas. Now, the numbers that I have here are all fixed, so they don't change. If I change these numbers, the numbers in column C do not change. Now I'm going to get rid of this column and stay with just fixed numbers that they do not change. Now I'm going to sort these numbers from smallest to the largest. And now I'm going to get the first 4 students from the top of the list, put them in the first group, and I color them as team number 1. Now, as I continue, see which team you belong to. Team 1, yellow color. Maybe I can just type it inside the yellow. Now, the second 4 students will be in team number 2. The next 4 will be in team number 3. I will color them green. The next 4, team number 5, team number 4, and I'm going to make them hot group. Team 4, red group. Now the next 4 are going to be, what color should I use? Gray, probably. Yeah. So in 5, and finally The last four students. Why did I pick 5 here? 1, 2, no, 4. The next 4, I'm going to use orange. Team number 6. That's all we needed. Now, the remaining 3 students, the first one is yellow. The second one is blue. And the third one is, what was the color for the third? Green. Okay. Do you know which group you belong to? I'm now able to attend. Okay, Kimia. We did the team forming exercise. Kimia, did you see which group you belong to? This is based on your student number.
My student number is 9. It starts with 19.
It ends with 19 or it starts with 19?
It starts with 19.
Okay. Oh.
It's 19, 11, 2, 6, 7.
Okay, let me do it this way. 19, 11, 2, 6, 7. Here, you are green, team number 3.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let me sort these numbers from the smallest to the largest so that you can know for sure which team you belong to. These are the numbers, student numbers are sorted from the smallest to the largest. So this way you will know, it's easier for you to find your student number. Is there anybody here in the room who doesn't know which team he or she belongs to? T1FTW. Leandro, what does that mean? T1, it's a code. Team 4. No, Leandro. Team 1 for the win. Okay. Okay. I don't know Rizwan here. I'm going to stay here on this page for a second, probably 30 seconds, I meant to say. Find your student number, which is sorted from the smallest to the largest. Now, after 30 seconds, I move down to the rest of the page. Okay, those of you who didn't know which team you belong to, do you know now? Like we had Rizwan, do you know? You cannot see the page. It's because your screen is frozen. You need to upload. If you write your student number, I will tell you which group you belong to. You are in team 1. Anybody who is not sure, right? Okay, that is your student number. You are in green. 2105539. You are in green, team number 3. Anybody else who is not sure? Okay, Rizwan, you are in team number 3. I believe that everybody else is okay now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a decision on that slide. right now while we are still on the team form. I'm going to put them here. Okay. These are the 5 activities, and I'm again going to randomly assign these activities equals to band, and okay, now I'm going to copy these, paste the special, just the values. I'm going to get rid of this column. Now I'm going to sort these. Okay, it doesn't make any difference. No. So let me just cut this column and then put it somewhere that is not affected by my work. Now I'm going to copy this, put it here. Okay, now when I sort this, the first item that comes into the top will be assigned to team number 1. The second one will be for team number 2, and to the end. Okay. Team number 1, you will be working on the CITT, Canadian Institute of Traffic and Transportation. This is a type of logistics association. The second group PMI, the third group ACMA, SCMA, Supply Chain Management Association, American Production and Inventory Control Society, APICS, Canadian Supply Chain Sector Council, and American, in order of what you see over here. Now I can just cut this, put it back, so that here are your assignments. It's not for next week because I already gave you your work for next week, which is MODAPS. With that, a small little exercise that you will do with teams. The week after, what I want from you is to do a little research on these certifications. Look at their website, for example, find some information, see what the process is for getting their certificate, if you need to provide some, what is the application, like what are the requirements for being able to get one of those designations. Complete research. Your presentation should not take more than 5 minutes, and we need only 1 person in every team to provide to talk to us and present the team's research. Is it clear? Some research on each one of those designations, what the certification is, how much is the value of the certification in the industry, how many people have that designation. Like if you look at PMI, is probably one of the most valuable certificates in the industry. More than 1 million people have the designation. If you go to the pmi.org website, you will get all this information. So that is for 2 weeks from now. Okay, now what I want you to do, now that we did the team forming exercise, I want you to go into breakout rooms with your teams and share contact information, email address, phone number, any chat system that you want to work together. Share that information in 5 minutes and come back. But please pay attention to this part. 6 groups. I'm going to create 6 breakout rooms for about 10 minutes. And I allow you to decide which room to join, but don't go anywhere. Just stay in the main room until we all know what we need to do. uh, 6 breakout rooms for 10 minutes. I allow you to go to the rooms. Okay, now I have the 6 breakout rooms. As you can see, room number 1, there is join room button. Those of you who are in yellow will go to room number 1. Those of you who are in blue will go to room number 2. Those of you who are green will go to room number 3 and continue to the end. So go to your rooms, share your contact information with your team members, know your team members, and then after 10 minutes, come back to the room. Shivani, you are still in the main room. Go to your own room. If you don't know which room you need to go, let me know. And Vaishnavi, you also need to go to your rooms. There are only 2 students in the main room. Do you know which rooms do you need to go to? Shivani, are you there? Shivani, can you hear me? Vaishnavi?
Excuse me, Professor.
Okay, Kimia, if you are in team number 3, you should go to room number 3. Go to the breakout rooms and join room number 3. Hardip, the same. If you know which team you belong to, you go to the breakout rooms and then click on the room number, which is the team number.
Okay. Okay, now I'm able to see room number 3. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Go to room number 3, and you, Hardip, go to room number 2. On the main page, you see the breakout rooms numbered from 1 to 6. Click on room number 2, Hardip. You will go to the room for your team.
Sorry, Professor, I'm not able to see the option to join.
There is a breakout rooms button on the
Okay.
users
I got it.
list. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Professor.
Shivani, are you here?
Oh, sir, I was actually out of the breaker room all of a sudden.
Well, because it ended. We had 10
Okay,
minutes. We had 10
okay,
minutes for this work, and the
okay,
10 minutes is over. So
okay,
all the breakout rooms are closed at the end of the 10 minutes, and everybody now is back in the main room. Okay,
okay.
Kras, were you able to work with your team members to share contact information?
Yes, and we already
Yes.
created a WhatsApp group, so in order
Okay.
to communicate, yeah.
That is okay. That is good if you want to stay with WhatsApp. What I wanted you to do was to somehow know how to reach your team members. If you are okay with WhatsApp group, that is fine.
Professor,
Yes,
for group 6, we were just two of us.
yes, I realized that, and I looked at my page. This is a very interesting story. When pandemic started, then those of you, probably some of you, got this video clip that was running on, showing that there was a class, the prof was on his computer teaching, and everybody was supposed to be in the room, and everybody was supposed to use the webcam. So one student puts her picture close to the webcam so that the prof thinks that the student is in the room, and then goes to bed. And that happened to us tonight. Two students joined the room, are still in the room, but I called them 100 times. They were not answering. So my assumption was that they connected to the room and then left to, probably went to bed or do something different. So they were in the main room. They never left the main room, and they didn't respond to my calls. They will come back to us, because next week when you do your work, and you will, like everybody in the work, if you were two people, you work on your question and put only the names of those two people on the paper, then you two people will get marks for your work. The other two, people who didn't join will get 0. Then at that point, they come back.
Professor, I'm not able to find my group. Can you tell me, please?
Well, were you here in the room when I talked to many students, asked to see if they know which group they belong to? Write your student number on the public chat.
Hello, Professor.
Hi, Aman. Let me hear from Sunita. She said that she couldn't find her group. But I realized, Sunita, you were in one room. Sunita, can you hear me?
Yes, Professor. I think I have some network issues.
Okay, so write your student number on the public chat, and I will let you know which team you belong to.
Okay, Professor. Professor, actually today my laptop is not working and I'm able to write, but my student ID is 2010393.
2010393.
Yes,
Okay,
Professor.
you are red. Red means team number 4, group number 4.
Okay, Professor. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. I think that is all we needed to do for team forming exercise. If you still have some difficulties with your teams, send me an email, and I will let you know which team you belong to, and I will connect you with the members of the team. Group 5, you are also 2 members, the same as I told to group number 6. Let me see. I took a picture of the grouping. Let me see what I have. 5, you were 3 people, Angelica, Bala, and TD.
Yes, Professor.
Okay.
We don't know the other members. Who is that? Like, we are not sure about the name of the person.
Well, I said that there were 2 students in my main room who never left the room, who never responded to my calls. After I realized that they are still in the room, they never responded, so I assumed that they connected to the room and went to bed. Okay, Angelica writes is group 5, and he or she did not join. Okay, no worries. You continue your work, and then I'm certain that they will panic when they get a 0 for their assignment. No worries. Okay, let me continue with the work. We still need to finish 1 chapter for tonight. And chapter 1 is
sorry, Professor.
Yes, sorry, Amon, I missed you. Taha, go ahead. Amon, you also wanted to say something. Sorry, go ahead, Taha.
Oh, yes. Actually, can I have the exact deadline for this assignment for the presentation thingy?
Yeah. This slide on chapter 1 names some of the professional associations that are related to operations management. Your group, I assigned these 2 groups, and I will post this file on the course website so you know what professional certification you need to do research on. If you are, for example, team number 1, you need to work on this certification, CITT, do a research on this, find out who they are, what they do, what it is. If you want to get the certification, do they have an exam to write? What is the application process? How many people in the world have this designation? This is a very general information about the certification, so that you can present it in class next week in about 5 minutes. So I only need one of you to present. You don't need to, all of you to say something. Do the work together, put everything together, but one of you prepare to present the research in class.
So this is for next week?
That is for next week, yes. No,
okay.
That is for the week after next week. Because for next week, you have the MODAPs.
Okay, got it. So this is actually, I was just checking the exact dates. So this one is for 7th of August.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
2 weeks from now. And I will post it on the course website. I already posted the homework for next week. For the week after, I will post this professional designations research somewhere at the end of week 3.
Okay, so it will be considered as a homework.
Yes, weekly homework.
Weekly homework. Done. Do we need to share the presentation slides as well with you, or how just verbal it is?
You send it to me before the presentation. You come to the class and you upload your presentation on the course website for that assignment. I will post a file, post an assignment, upload it on the course website so that you can upload your assignment for that question, for that assignment.
Got it. Very clear. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, how many words for assignment number 2? What is assignment number 2? Are you talking about the professional certification or the work for next week, Rizwan? For MODAPs, it's not words, it's the process that you do the work. Like I have given you the question, reach the box of bolts, take 1 bolt. And I believe one of you put all the codes here. I'm just trying to see here. You move your hand towards the box. Okay. For this activity, there is a time unit that you decide how many units of time it will take. So for everything that you do to complete the process, complete the task, you write it. If you need 100 lines of codes to write, that's up to you. But be very specific. Okay, it's almost 10 o'clock, and I need about half an hour time to finish my chapter 1. I will go over it very quickly. Probably it's best if we take a quick break now for 10 minutes, come back at 10, let me write it here, back at 10:12, and we continue with the rest of the material.
Excuse
Thank
me,
you,
Professor.
Yes, Kimya, Hardeep.
Yeah, actually, I just want to know that we all same members, team members, will work for next week's activity.
Yes,
Homework test.
that is a teamwork. I already posted the question on the course website, and I have given you here. Save your answer as a PDF. This is a teamwork assignment, and only one file per team is needed. So you work together, you decide on each element in that task, you write it up, you upload your work for this question. When you click on homework, there is a box here that you can upload. I need to change my status to become a student so that I can show you what happens. Let me go to here, change my role to a student. And now if you go here, add submission, after you completed your answer to the question, you add submission and you upload your file over here in this box.
Okay, thank you so much.
Just one per team.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
And Kimya, what was it you were asking?
I think she was just saying thank you, Professor.
How do you know that she had the same question?
No, she was just saying thank you, Professor.
Oh, okay.
Waiting for the break.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take a break. Take a break.
Professor,
Yes, Amma.
sorry to interfere.
Sorry?
So I was saying that we were only in our group 4, but I guess Sunita just joined. I guess she has problem with network, so I guess Sunita is in our group, but now we're still missing one because we were supposed to be 4.
Doesn't matter. 2 is also good. 3 is also good.
Okay,
whatever number of students you are right now, continue working together. I'm certain those missing students will panic, try to find out which teams they have to work with.
Hi, actually, I have some network issues. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Can I join your group tomorrow?
Yeah,
send
so
me an email. Send me an email, and I will
Sure.
let you know
Thank
which
you.
group. Okay, let's take a break now. Okay, everyone, it is 10:12. I'm back at my computer. Are we ready to continue?
yes,
Perfect, thank you. Okay, we have about 40 minutes time left. I will try to finish the first chapter in 30 minutes so that you can take the last 10 minutes to do your student engagement exercise. Excuse me. I'm sharing my screen with you. Let me resize my pages so that I can have an eye on my public chat. The first chapter gives you just an introduction, a taste of what project operations management is. The learning objectives for this chapter: define operations management, identify operations management jobs. Lots of jobs available in this field. Identify the three major functions in an organization. They are operations, finance, and marketing. Describe the scope of operations management, provide an overview of the textbook, including differentiating between the design and planning control decisions. There are certain decisions related to the design and certain decisions related to planning and control. Compare production of goods and services. We compare to see what the differences are. Discuss the operations manager's job, how satisfied they are with their jobs. Describe the aspects of operations management decision making. Describe the historical evolution of operations management and identify any trend in this field. The outline in the book, I'm certain that many of you have bought the book. If not, you will, because you need to get it to be able to do the work. And this is how the first chapter of the book is outlined. They start with the definition of the operations management and go to the next items. You can look at the textbook to see the outline. This is the definition of the operations management: is the processes that create goods or provide service. There are certain stages or steps that you need to take to convert input into output, and everything that you do in that process is related to the operations management. I think we talked about efficiency and effectiveness last week, correct? Okay, so we know the differences between these two terms. Efficiency is an internal to the organization, which means getting the most from the least, optimizing your work, removing the rework, removing waste, increasing the output. That is efficiency. Effectiveness is something external, related to your customers. Here is where you achieve your intended goals, working on the quality and timeliness on the delivery of the product or service to the customers. We compare two industries here. One is service industry, airline industry, and goods producing company like bicycle factory. The operations management activities, if you consider forecasting, at the bottom of the page, if you look at the file, you can read all the differences that you see between these two. In terms of forecasting, what you do in airline industry, you need to be able to forecast the demand. How many customers want to fly, for example, from Vancouver to Toronto. So you will know what the demand for the flights are. What is the growth? Like from the pandemic up to now, recently it has started to build up a little demand, but immediately after pandemic, the airline industry was hit very hard by this virus. Many airline companies filed for bankruptcy because there was no customers. You need to also be able to forecast the weather, forecast the landing condition in different airports. If you look at the bicycle in terms of forecasting, bicycle producing company, depending on what type of business they are, whether they make everything inside the company, or they order sub-assemblies, get the parts, and then put them together, assemble the parts to make a bicycle. They need to know the demand. How many demand is out there? How many people want, for example, to buy the bicycle next week, next month, next year? So based on that forecasting element, they decide how much capacity they need to have. Capacity planning for airline industry, deciding on the number of planes. If you realize that your demand is high, you probably need to make a decision on adding some more airplanes to your company. For the bicycle, if your capacity is, for example, 500 per week, and you see the demand is increasing to 1,000 a week, then you need to add some capacity. So you need to plan for it. And capacity planning is not something that you can do overnight. It takes time. Usually it's a long-term decision. Scheduling, you need to schedule for the flights. You need to schedule for your crew members. You need to schedule for your pilots. For the bicycle, the scheduling relates to like the staff that you need, the workers that you need to have in different shifts. If you run the company in only one shift, or if you go with 2 shifts or 3 shifts. Managing inventory for the airline industry, like one of the factors that they need to look at, like inventory for the catering, like the food, the beverages that they need to have, how much they need to keep in inventory. For the bicycle, that is related to the parts and sub-assemblies and also the finished product, how many they need to keep. Assuring quality for the airline industry, that relates how you provide service to your customers, the customer service, the information desk that you have available in the airport, the safety of your passengers. For the bicycle, again, you need to consider the quality factors. So let me just move to the next one. Opportunities. Why do we study operations management? A very large percentage of companies' expenses are spent on operations. As we will see later tonight, lots of work in an organization are related to the operation. So because of this huge amount of money spent on operations, if you are able to make an improvement to be more efficient, that results in more profit. A large number of jobs in operations that are related to purchasing, for example, quality, planning, scheduling, inventory, many other factors, other jobs that are available in the operations management. The production line, the logistics, activities in all other areas like finance, human resources, marketing are interrelated. So finance and marketing together with operations are 3 main functions in an organization. The other functions are all service functions. So they provide service to these main functions of the organization. Operations innovations lead to marketplace and strategic benefits. There are some examples that I have on my course website, like for example, for Toyota production system, and there's direct to customer shipping. I will make them available for you if you have time. I strongly recommend you to read them, because everything that you read related to this job will help you to master the topic. I already talked to you about this, and that is going to be your homework for 2 weeks from now. These are the 3 main functions that we talked about: operations, finance, and marketing. The finance function is responsible for providing the funds that are necessary to do whatever is needed for the operations. The operations department or function is responsible to do the manufacturing, to make the product or provide the service. And the marketing department is close to the customer. So they know what customers' needs and wants are. They pass this information to the operations and to the finance. So the finance knows how many customers are coming, how much money is coming to the company, and they will also get information from operations. For example, if the operations wants to add a new machine, so they need to provide the funding, the budget for buying that machine. These three basic functions interact together. They help each other to be able to have an efficient process in place. Here is the airline industry again, the operations in the airline industries. There are flight operations, ground support at the airport, the facility maintenance, and also the catering functions for the operations. And you also see the marketing and finance. If you are a member of or subscribe to the Air Canada's website, you will probably get 1 or 2 emails every week with some promotional material giving you information. For example, if you reserve a ticket by tomorrow, you can save 15%, 20%, or whatever the promotion is about. Value added. The responsibility of the operations is to get the input, which include the buildings, the labor, machineries, material, and information. Get the input, transform them, convert them to output. Output in the goods manufacturing industry is a tangible product, like a car, a bicycle. In the service industry, is not tangible, like you go to McDonald's to get a sandwich. Okay, but they provide output, provide feedback to the operations, and also in the input side. Like the output, here you have the customer service people. If you go and buy a product from Walmart, you bring it home, and if it doesn't work or if you don't like it, you can return it. When you return it to the customer service, the first question that the customer service person asks you is, what is wrong with the product? Like, is there anything wrong with the product? Then you probably give an answer. It didn't work. I don't like it. They get this information, collect the information, and pass it to the operations. If there is anything like damages to the product because of shipping, they know that they need to improve the packaging part so that the product does not break while they ship the product to the customer. So the feedback they get from the connected functions to improve their work. And value added is, we will have one slide, which is the difference between the cost of input and the price of. Here is the value added. The definition for value added is given at the bottom of the page. Is the term used to describe the difference between the cost of input and the value of the price or the price of the output. In this page, it gives you an example of value added in the process of converting wheat to bread. A farmer produces and harvests wheat. Let's assume that a farmer adds 15 cents value or creates 15 cents value. The wheat is transported to mill to be changed to flour. Then you have 8 cents additional value added. Then the mill produces the flour. That is another 15 cents and transports to the baker. Baker makes the bread. The bread goes to the store, and the grocery store displays and adds a markup to the price, 21 cents, and the total cost would be $1.29. Let's assume that this is the price that they sell the product. So you see that the cost of input to the price of output is the value added in this business. In food processing company, if your company produces canned vegetables, the input that you have, so that is the output. This is what you go to Walmart and get a can of tomato, for example. The input, raw material, raw vegetables, the metal shift to make the cans, water, energy, labor, building equipment, any type of machineries that they use, the processes that they have to convert input into output, the cleaning, making cans, cutting, cooking, packing and labeling, and then the output that you and I buy. In a service industry, so the previous one was a goods producing company. Here is a service industry like a hospital. The inputs are sick patients, doctors, nurses, buildings, medical supplies and drugs, equipment, laboratories, test machineries. Then they do some processes like they examine, they do surgery, they monitor your blood pressure, for example. They do medication and therapy, and the output of this system now, if you want to think about a service industry like a university, my job as teaching is exactly something similar to what you see on this page. The inputs are me, students, the administration at the university, the building, the campuses, the computers, chairs and desks, and all the tools that you buy, books, everything. Then the process is like what we do, deliver the course. Okay, get together if it is online, and then do some work together, and the output is knowledgeable student, hopefully. This is the continuum goods to service. At the bottom of this page, you see that it is goods related. If you look at a car manufacturing company, their job is to produce something tangible, which is a car, or a steel making company that they produce steel. And as you go up to the right, you see the surgery and teaching, which are completely service related. Some types of operations that could be goods producing or service providing industries or operations. For goods producing, these are some examples of the industries. Farming, for example, they produce products, mining or construction, manufacturing, power generation. The output of the work of these operations is something tangible. For services, storage and transportation, if you rent a storage, for example, from one of these storage companies, there is no product involved. It's just a service that you get, like warehousing, trucking, mail services, moving, taxis, buses, hotels, airlines. Financial institutions, banks, real estate companies. These are all type of service producing or service providing companies. Entertainment, going to a theater to watch a show, a live show, or watch a movie. Communication systems, newspapers, radios, televisions. These are all service industry. And now the interfaces in operations, as you can see, operations is at the middle, and these all provide service to the operations, like accounting, information system, purchasing, human resources, manufacturing, engineering, maintenance, product design, logistics, Operations interfaces with a number of supporting functions. These are all functions that support the operations to do the work. The scope of operation include decisions on a number of things, including design decisions, planning and control decisions. For the design, they need to make a decision or design capacity requirement, design location, design equipment, make decisions related to these factors. And they also need to make decisions related to planning and control the quality of the product, control the inventory, how much inventory they need to have, control the labor, the personnel, control the scheduling, and plan the scheduling that they need for their work. Here, the scope of operations management continues. Forecasting what will be needed, what the demand will be. So they need to do, the operations need to do forecasting. That is part of the job. Product and service design, based on what customers want. They need to make improvements to the existing products or service, or create and develop new products or service. Capacity, depending on the demand, they need to plan for the capacity that they need. The processes, what type of processes they need. Is it going to be manual or automated processes? Like in the manufacturing, goods producing industry, they probably can use huge amount of automated machineries like robots. In the service industry, mostly human, but after the pandemic, I remember seeing movies in the news, or seeing the news that some restaurants decided to change the servers into robot servers, so that, you know, to reduce the probability of their customers to get infected, or you know, moving from humans into automated systems. But mostly in the manufacturing section is done. The layout design, how the departments are arranged, how close department A should be to department B, or even within a department, how should the offices be arranged? Should my office be close to your office or somebody else's office? Or in the manufacturing plant, how should we arrange the machineries? Should we put a press close to a welding machine, or a lathe, or whatever process is? You look at the process and make a decision on that. Work and job design, how to improve the work methods. How do we do the work? Like if you are, the example I gave you for your weekly homework next week, if it's a bolt that you need to take and put a washer and nut in it, do you need to get a person, labor to do the work, or can you automate it? So again, you design the work to make sure that you can get most out of your resources. Quality, how do we define quality, and how to improve the quality of the product or service that we provide? Supply chain management, what is the relationship that you have with your suppliers? Is it going to be a type of arm's length relationship that like you order, they bring to the part to the product, or is it going to be a very close partnership relationship that they have access to your computer system? They know when you need the product. When they have the access, they can see what's going on inside your company. Do you trust your supplier to give them access to your computer system? Inventory management. Is it good to have inventory at all? What is good in it? Like the good thing is that you can have items available in case customer wants to buy it. So that improves the customer service. On the other side, you have to pay a lot of cost. You have order cost, you have inventory holding cost, You have to pay for the parts in your inventory. That means your part of your capital is locked. You cannot do anything about it. You face the theft. You face the product to be obsolete. So you need to do a trade-off on all these negative and positive factors to see how many units of items do you need to keep in inventory. Aggregate planning, how much capacity will be needed over the midterm. For aggregate planning, we will talk in one class. The entire class will be assigned to aggregate planning. Just-in-time systems are systems that get the product immediately before you need them. And scheduling for jobs and staff, the workers. And then you need to decide which one of these decisions are planning and control decisions, which one of them are design decisions. The differences between goods and services. In terms of the output, goods are tangible, services are not tangible. So car is a good, is a product that you produce. You can feel it, you can touch it, you can ride it, but getting a flight from Toronto to Vancouver is a service. It's not tangible. Customer contact in a manufacturing setting, in a goods producing industry, is very low. You probably do not allow customers to go to your car manufacturing plant, but in service, the customer contact is very high. Uniformity of input and output is high for goods producing industry because, again, if you are producing a bicycle, all the items that you put together to get a bicycle is the same as the next bicycle and the next bicycle. But it's not the same. The uniformity of input and output is completely different in service industry. Like if you go to Starbucks, get a cup of coffee, and I go to the Starbucks to get a cup of coffee half an hour later, what you get is going to be completely different from what I get. Even if they say that they try to standardize everything, but different servers who work there, they probably give you a different output. Labor content in a car manufacturing company, in a goods producing company, is very low because they mostly likely use automated machineries. But in service industry, labor content is very high. You need to have human to provide service to people. Measurement of productivity. Productivity is a simple ratio of output over input. It's very easy to measure for the goods producing industry because the input that you provide is completely known. The output is completely measurable. You know how many bicycles you produced this week. Then it's very easy to calculate the productivity, but it is very difficult because of the low uniformity of input and low uniformity of output factors. It's very difficult to measure productivity in the service industry. Quality, again, very easy to improve in the goods producing industry. It is also easy to do this for service, but you need to provide a lot of training for the people who work for your company. Goods and service, again, tangible for goods producing, an act or service. More than 79% of the jobs in Canada are service-related jobs, like jobs in the service industry. Here it shows you the percentage of total labor from 1960 to 2016. The blue bar is for agriculture, forestry, fisheries, mining, oil and gas, so type of goods producing companies. Manufacturing and construction, the orange, and service including utilities, is the tallest bar that you see. And this is the only bar that you see it's increasing, has been increasing since 1960 to 2016, but the other two bars are decreasing. 79% related to jobs related to service. And now the operations manager's job, like a manager's job, relate to planning, organizing, controlling, and directing. And that is the same with the operations. For the planning, you need to plan for capacity, for the location, mix of products, what type of product do you need to produce, how many of each one of them, production processes that you need, and the layout for your company. The organizing, what is the degree of centralization, or do you allow, as the operations manager, do you allow your people to make decisions on their own, or everything is centralized, all the decisions go through your office to the other employees? The departments, how are they arranged? The subcontracting, are you going to outsource part of your product to some other companies? Who are the suppliers? How do you organize the staffing? Controlling, here you decide about the inventory control, quality control, production pace, at how fast are you going to produce the product? How are you going to motivate your people? The cost control, and directing, scheduling, issuance of work orders, job assignment, purchasing, and logistics. This is a very interesting slide, the level of job satisfaction. So what they did a research, sent a survey to operations managers, and asked them to say how much satisfied they are related to the factors that you see on the y-axis. The x-axis is the percentage of respondents highly satisfied. Like if you look at the blue bar, at the top is almost 100% or 98% opportunities for improving efficiency. So about 100% of operations managers said that in this job, there are lots of opportunities to improve efficiency. They, again, exactly the same percentage, about 95%, said that there are opportunities for innovation in this job. About 92% or 90% said that opportunities for personal initiatives, like you can initiate something in your work. About 85% said that operations managers' decision affect their work. Okay, but as you continue to the end, at the bottom, you see only 30% of operations managers said that about 30% are satisfied with dealing with labor difficulties. They hate it. Operations managers do not want to see difficulties related to labor, and because of that, they usually do not get themselves involved in labor issues. If there is anything related to labor, they get some support from human resources department, and the human resources department gets the issue and works on the issue. If you look at the second last item, hours of work, it seems that there only 50% of them are satisfied. That means that they need to spend huge amount of time on the work, probably more than 40 hours a week. So that's why they are not satisfied with this job, because of too much work, the workload. Operations managers and decision-making models, quantitative techniques, analysis of trade-offs, systems approach, establishing priorities, and ethics. There is one slide for each one of them. I will explain. For models, it could be a physical model, like you can just put all the things together on a small table and then see how it looks. If you are happy with it, then go ahead with it. If not, then rearrange change the location of different departments, different machines, different tools, and look at it. It could be a schematic that you look at a graph, a chart, or it could be a mathematical. What do we know about this formula at the bottom of this page? Anybody knows what this formula is about? Like, this is a mathematical model that you can use to make some improvements. But do you remember this this formula? A right angle triangle. Pythagoras, yes. Leandro, thank you. Triangle, let's assume that this is A, this is B, and this is C. Then the question is find C. And believe me, this happened. Like, I'm just giving you a real experience. In one of my courses, I gave a triangle, marked them as A, B, C, the sides, and then students were supposed to find C. And what I wanted was this, like A square plus B square. Okay, yes, equals to C square. But you know what happened? I think it's right time because I'm going to stop here. It's right time for me to give you this this case. One student wrote the answer to this question. She didn't give me this. Okay, noise is coming. Let me see who is noisy. Sujata. Okay, to answer this question, one student who was very smart marked this C and wrote, here it is. I found it. Okay, I think you can read the rest yourself. Very easy material, and many of the things, like for the quantitative techniques, I will cover them in class. So we will talk about linear programming, queuing systems, inventory management models, project techniques, and statistical process control. We will be talking about all this. So continue. There are not much left, only 2, 3, 4, 5 slides left. So you do it yourself, and I'm sorry that it took a little time, but let me see what you need to do right now. Exercise, where is it? Where am I now? Student engagement exercise, 5 questions you probably can answer in less than 5 minutes because they are very easy questions. Homework here, where is it? Student engagement. Am I on the right page? Yes, courses. (620). Oh, I changed my role to a student. That's no. Oh, okay, yes. Okay, return to my normal role. Now I can see that at the end of week 2. Now I need to turn on editing, then make that exercise visible. Now, if you refresh your page, you will see this. The only thing I need to do is to change it, give it a little more time. It closes at 11 o'clock, and right now we have only 9 minutes, and the time assigned is 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is to change the setting so that it closes at 11:30. You don't need that much time. You only need probably, like, I've given you 15 minutes, but you probably need not more than 5 minutes to finish it. So please go ahead and answer these questions. 5 simple, easy multiple choice questions. And then we close the session at this point. I wish you all the best. Let me know if you have any questions or if you need something from me. Don't forget your homework for the week is related to the modaps for this week. So finish it in Teams and upload only one file in Moodle. Okay, everyone. Stay safe and healthy, and I will see you next week at 7 o'clock.
Excuse me, Professor.
Yes, Kimia.
Sorry, I received just phone call quickly now. So what was the one that 5 multiple choice questions that we have to do now?
Yes.
Is it the homework that we have already, like for week 1? Is it that one?
No.
Or
This is at the end of week 2. If you look at week 2 material, which is human resources, go down to the end of week 2, you see a student engagement exercise.
oh, we should do it now?
Yes.
Okay. It's regarding the chapters that we had today.
This is what I just covered.
Okay.
So as I said, you probably can answer all the questions in 2 minutes.
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All the best, Kimia.
Thank you.
Yeah, see you next week, everybody.
See you next week. Have a good night. Have a good weekend.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night, Professor.
Thank you, Sunita. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor.
All the best.
Thank you, Professor. Good night.
Thank you very much. Have a good night. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Professor.
Stay safe.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.